Are we podcasting? Is that the Magnum PI?
No, that's the A-Team. And guess what? Oh. You didn't get the A-Team. You got the B-Team, known as IMOMSOHARD. And but Kristin's wearing black. I'm wearing black and white. We'll be miming for you today. So if you want to watch this.
I got to take my Band-Aid off. It's so gross.
You guys, it's nothing but hotness here. I can tell you right now, my underwear is about 4 inches out of the back of my... You know how, like, sometimes you'll find a pair of jeans that you're like, oh, these are old low-rise jeans that somehow missed the.
Yeah, let's not bring those back, you guys.
Purge.
Yeah. Now if the like navel to crotch ratio isn't like 14 inches, I'm like, what are these Britney Spears version of underwear and jeans? Because now if my underwear are too low and I wear high-rise jeans, my pooch goes over my underpants and then shows up higher. It just moves.
My pooch goes over the lower part of my stomach with nothing on. There's
same.
A skin fold that I think it's.
I can grab it.
C-section? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can.
It's wonderful.
Do a little.
Or if you put on too high cut of underwear, I get like a weird double
little booch. I know, you guys.
What 28-year-old hot guys listening to us now?
Well,
thank you.
They just drove their car into a tree.
Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. You can find us.
Good.
Yeah, you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
If you do that, and that's what we're.
Yeah, we want to keep this train alive.
We love doing the podcast.
We love doing it.
We also want you to follow. You guys
follow us on damn Instagram.
Go to Instagram right now. Take out your phone.
God, please.
Click follow on IMOMSOHARD.
You know that we're going to love you for it. It's just, we need those numbers. We want those numbers. It's a personal goal. We're trying to get to 500,000 by the time we get to Christmas. Jesus, please,
and
Lord.
Also, we say this all the time, but it's
we
true.
Don't
we don't buy bots. So
maybe people don't even know what that means. You can pay on Instagram for follows, and we don't do that because we want the comments and this engagement that you see to be real and to be like human beings.
Totally. There's like some kid in Sri Lanka who is just starting up fake accounts and then selling
or trolling us.
Hey, no, that guy.
If you DM us.
There's a lot of Middle Eastern men who are very into.
That's different,
Kristin.
I'm just saying a fan base is a fan base. Okay, look. They're always like sniffing around, and I'm like, look.
She's like, she downloaded Duolingo, and she's like, I'm trying to learn Arabic so I can respond to this guy who finds me quite attractive. And I was going through stuff. I sent it to Kristin. She's still horrified by it. I still love it. She won't let me post it. Our very first dick pic that we got, our only one.
There was
crazy.
One
right out of the chute when we started doing IMOMSOHARD.
No. Dick pic. I think you've arrived if somebody's mad at you or if somebody sends you a dick pic.
Yeah, well.
That's how you know.
It looked like that dick was mad at me if you want to.
Do you remember when I thought that, well, I still am confused by it. I didn't know that when people sent those photos, they were in a certain state. Not an actual state, not like Iowa, but like I didn't know that.
Maybe a lot of them are.
I didn't know that you would send a picture and it'd be.
There's a lot from like Qatar, it seems like. I don't know if that's a state or a city.
I didn't know people sent pictures of when it was happy.
Okay, but
gross.
There's
fucking gross.
A real specific breed of man that might do it when he's unhappy, and that is a confident choice. But I don't think that's how it generally happens.
I didn't know that. Also, geez, what dude is like, I'm going to send a picture of my wiener to them. That's exactly what they're asking for. What part of our content were they like, these ladies need to see a really good dick pic?
Oh, you know what? Everybody, I'm sure, who's on a dating site can explain. It will say how I've gotten so many of them. And
that just makes me want to slap the shit out of the men that are doing it. I'm like, your mother would be horrified. What are you doing that you're spending so much time lighting your junk when you could go out and get a promotion at your job and make dating you better?
I mean, I don't understand it. Honestly, it's like, have you sent that before and somebody responded with, well, that's a nice looking, that's a handsome penis.
I say yes to you, sir.
Yeah. What are your interests besides sex with people you don't know?
Right. I would like to send a picture back and go, sir, thank you for your dick pic. I'd now like a picture of your credit report,
Yeah.
your credit score. I'd like
Show
to
me how organized your garage is.
right
'Cause
now
I can tell
in
what
real
your
time.
priorities are.
Yes, I want to see the inside of your car.
Yeah.
Like I want to know what is your tax bracket. Those things matter to me. So if you're spending because I'm going to guess that if you're spending all your time taking pictures of your own wiener as though that is the thing to lead with, you and I are not compatible.
I understand doing it once you're in a relationship.
What? No, God, no. No, God.
Why?
No.
Why? Well,
God.
you got to make sure
I'm
that
way
you're
too
not doing
uptight.
family sharing or something because you don't
Jesus.
want those
Ugh.
ending up. You got to do, just so you know, you can make a hidden album, you guys. So,
You know that's never going to be the case with me.
Kristin, I'm not letting you
I would
do
be
it.
like,
I'm not letting you
here's
do
my
it whatsoever.
school's website. Let me put all of these
Absolutely.
pictures of my husband's wiener.
Download to the IMOMSOHARD Instagram, and then
You know that would be the case. I'd be like, Jen, I was trying to send a sexy picture for the first time ever to my husband, and I posted it on our Instagram. I don't know how to get it down.
yeah, it wasn't my face, but
It's listen,
I was wearing an initial necklace.
Guys, how we all doing? You can also see all this delight on the YouTube.
Oh yeah, watch the YouTube version.
We're
of this.
making our way on TikTok. We're getting there.
I know. Follow us on TikTok, you guys. We post we aren't one of those
We're not
TikTok influencers that
No.
post a lot. It's
We're the
once
opposite.
once a week or something.
You follow
like
us,
that.
you're going to be like, oh, look, they posted for the first time in 8 days.
Yeah, and it was something unimpressive. But bear
fine.
in mind, if we haven't posted something, it's because we're parenting.
We're
So we can come
we're the
back
real
and-
deal. We're
and
not.
have these real life conversations with you.
Yeah.
I wish I had a drink right
Me
now.
too.
My
Cheers.
God.
Diet
Cheers
Coke is
to-
not going to.
Nope, not
Diet
doing
Coke.
it.
Diet. Here we go. Burping. I'm burping and I've also tooted like 3 times.
You did? Tony, is the mic picking up her toots? Because we can take that out.
I think it's whenever we talk about dick pics, I'm like, boop, like, boop, boop, boop. Yeah, mine are like, pap, pap, pap. They're
Yeah.
not long and lingery. They're just a little scape.
reached the point in my relationship with my husband where I'm like, I'm not worried about farting in front of him anymore.
I've never been. I tooted
know.
in
It's
my
confident.
the first time Colin and I took a shower. I laughed too hard and tooted.
My favorite thing ever.
I laughed too hard and tooted, and I was like, "Oops!" And I was like, "Look, you just need to know that 2 things are going to happen in the shower."
And she describes it as a cute toot. you
It was a
guys.
cute toot, and I'm gonna shave my lip when you turn around. I'm just gonna we can't just take a shower for like romantic reasons all the time.
Look, there's a reason why hot stuff happens in a hot tub, and it's the bubbles. Because
It's the bubbles
don't
because
wanna
you
have
can
to
let
hide.
loose. Also, we
Yeah.
can all agree like sex in a hot tub sucks. It's
I
like
think
hot.
it's not good for you.
It's hot to start, but then you're like, "Ugh, I don't like. I'm real
And
brass
also,
tacks,
it-
man.
It feels like you're having sex with everyone else who's had sex. in
Yeah,
that hot
I like
tub.
get pregnant 8 times. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Who's this pharmaceutical rep? I don't know.
What? Oh,
Yeah, this Airbnb has seen a lot of. This was a fraternity party 3 days ago.
gross.
Yeah, listen.
Don't send us your dick pics.
Don't
That's
send
the
us your dick pics.
long-winded
God,
way of
please.
saying.
Also, if you are listening and you have a wiener, well, we know it's going to be like
You know
one
what?
of 3
Yeah,
people.
We know you have big balls. We don't need.
We
to
don't
see
need
them.
to see them. Also,
Yeah.
don't send pictures of balls.
Here's the other thing. I have always wanted to post like an edited version of that with like a smiley face over it. And Kristin won't let me.
I've never
And-
said that we couldn't do it. I just think it's so gross and it's going to invite competition.
Oh,
It's going to invite
Oh.
competition. And I don't know if I can be like sitting at home looking at our DMs and then a ween comes in.
I just want you to know that when you send me a photo of your wiener, that becomes my property.
Okay.
I will
so
screenshot
fine.
that
I let
shit.
you navigate that, but
I won't do it.
it
I don't want to
is
encourage
amazing
I
it's
want more.
one that we've had one. That's,
There's-
also 300 million
Shirtless.
people have seen our
Yeah.
bathing suit video, not one modeling contract.
Statistically, that's impossible, isn't it?
We
Or-
received 1 billion swimsuits
yeah.
that were reasonable,
Yeah.
but no. We did get a bikini. Somebody did send us a bikini.
Yeah, but it was the kind that like goes up to your rib cage anyways.
No, the purple one.
Oh,
the real
yeah.
bikini.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that thing. That
I'm
was
not
like
wearing it out in
that was like a
public, but-
triangle going over a giant circle of my nipple. I was like, I don't think this is. I don't think this is what you want. This surface area is not being evaluated accurately.
Yeah.
The triangle was small.
They're small triangles.
Same with the downstairs. Who's hot? Who's ready for this podcast?
Yep. This is what you get when you sign on for the B team.
This is what you get for the B team. But I will say, we're going to do some bragging. Speaking of bees, we're going to brag about where we're from, which is the great state of Nebraska.
That's right.
Because we
Speaking of bees.
Speaking of bees.
Why?
Well, because we're bragging. Bee is bragging.
Oh,
bee, not
okay.
balls.
Okay, I was like, what Nebraska reference have I missed all these years about bee?
No, we're the Skurs, we're the Huskers, we're the Go Big Reds. We're very proud of our state and where we're from. And I just stayed. Well, we just did a hometown show, which is so fancy.
There's still shows left.
Still
so
shows.
Go to the IMOMSOHARD and get your tickets. But we did our hometown show and it was fun.
Sold out. Every time we've gone to Nebraska, we've sold out.
They're the best ladies.
It's
not to
we're home.
complain
we're
about
home.
any other state in the union, especially Qatar. Very impressive shirtless men sending us nude photos. But
that's always been the way it is for me. I think that I don't know what it is about any Persian guy that looks at me and goes, "You should be my wife," because you are. I'm not agreeable in that way.
You are my queen.
Yeah, I'm like, well, maybe okay.
We're gonna have
you
to
do
cut
have a
that
nut.
out. And
We're
I'm
probably
just saying, it's a
probably have to
fact of
cut
the
that
matter
out.
that they really do. They're into Kristin. But Nebraska, we loved being back, and all the ladies are so nice and so warm and wonderful, and they drove from all over the state to come see us.
It feels like a giant family reunion.
It
Now,
does.
let us just say we've been playing so many different cities, and we've had so much fun. In every city we go to, there's ladies that make their own shirts. There's ladies that make us
my God.
sippy, not sippy koozies.
And
what do you call it? A drink glass with
where is
they
mine?
Pinterest the shit out of stuff. They make a Are We Podcasting t-shirt. Everybody is so nice. But when you go home, there's no place like home. It's been such a delight. Every time we go home, we sell out. Every time we go home, we feel like rock stars. And then
It's wonderful.
and here, so we always have family and friends at every Nebraska show, especially.
Oh my God,
And
I hope this is the story.
This is how it started. My mom and dad are the loveliest people, but I don't know what kind of power they have where they security does not apply to them. Dewey and Terry, when we were shooting our pilot for CBS, which was the biggest deal ever, there are 1,000 executives. You're on a studio lot. There's so much security.
It's impossible. It's harder than the airport.
You can imagine
security.
people try to get on a studio lot for every reason. It's every actor's like, I gotta go to the office.
But
They're
I
like,
stand in the background of this scene and just see what happens.
yeah, I'm just gonna
or-
wink a little bit. So security is at its highest, right? I remember we were so excited, but also so nervous. And I went out into the back lot, out of a door that nobody goes in. I went, sat under a tree, just trying to keep myself together and not lose my shit and feeling very, very nervous. And out of nowhere, my dad comes around the corner.
Yeah,
and I go, Dad? He's like, hey, kiddo. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And he somehow just lollygagged out of a door.
Yeah.
And it felt like the world, but it felt like, a little magical that my dad was
magic. He does that.
He does that. And then I started immediately
dad
bawling.
magic for
I was
you.
like, Dad. And he's like, hey, this is going to be great. Do you know how I got out here? And I'm like, no clue. I literally don't know how. So we went through the back.
I was looking for a sandwich and I couldn't find one. So I
think it's because he's so aloof. He gets away with so much.
just walk confidently. It does a lot for
or
you.
just kind of just be there and say hello and be friendly. And they're all like, well, he seems like he belongs.
Dewey and Terry are so friendly. And I'll tell you,
so friendly.
there's not a phone number that Terry doesn't have. She has, I'm telling you, she probably had the friends of friends working at the lead center that she was like, don't worry about it. Roy's going to let me in.
100%.
If I can't get a hold of you, Kristin, and
If
then,
it's not family, it's friends for her. She knows everybody. And they also are just like the kindest, nicest, most unassuming people.
Totally.
And they're like, I'm going to get your phone number. I'm going to call you later. And then they do.
we're gonna come on down early to give everybody hugs and then get out of your hair. And then we don't want to take up anybody's time, but we also brought cookies. And then Du and I are going to go grab a bite to eat and just leave you alone to do your thing. And we'll meet up later.
That is 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a direct quote.
That's a 100% direct quote. So anyway, my dad is this like unintentional spy. And we are going to the Lead Center, which houses 3,000 people. This is a giant theater with, by the way, like theaters, the way they're designed is so you can move back behind stage and maneuver between 3 floors.
They're
so
labyrinth too.
It's a labyrinth. It's so complicated. We can never find our way back to our dressing room. So we go in early, obviously, to do sound check. And I've not talked to my parents yet. I don't know what's going on. And we walk by our dressing room and my dad is peeing.
All right.
I don't know how to say that. But you don't see anything. But you tell it.
Let me back it up a little bit. So this woman's showing us around. She's like, that's where your food is at. So you guys can go in there and grab some food. Right down this hallway. There's people down there, but this is your dressing room. Kristin goes, hi, Dewey. Wait, Dewey, what? Like, he is shutting the door. There's a bathroom inside our dressing room that Dewey hadn't shut the door of yet.
I don't know if you've met married people.
Defensive.
They don't.
He's like, I was going to shut the door.
I was like, there was no intention of you shutting the door. You were just
shut
free
the door,
peeing in our dressing room.
Yeah,
you know, like he's like, I'm married to the Lead Center. I'm open. I'm in retirement. Who needs these formalities?
It was amazing though, because Kristin was just like, oh hi,
Dad.
Yeah.
Then I keep walking. I'm like, Dad,
what
are you doing?
Yeah.
So then my mom and dad knew the lay of the land. They knew where the snacks were.
She's shouting through the door. She's like, Dewey, how'd you get in there? And
my mom's like, Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne. I told him to use the other bathroom.
I did.
Like, all of a sudden, flanked by many members of Kristin's family who have
breached security.
Yep, they're backstage.
They're backstage.
Delightful.
Terry, and then again, Terry's like, you know what? You guys have Cokes and Diet Cokes, and you have, Jen, have you eaten your salad? I put it out for you. Here's your silverware. Listen, we're going to get out of your hair. We're going to go back into you know what? Actually, what I would like to do is, can you guys sit down? Let's talk about how you're feeling. I'm like, Mom, how'd you get here?
Every time I blinked, the family members multiplied. All of a sudden, I go into get a glass of wine, and Kristin's brother's in there with 4 dudes wearing the same matching tracksuit. I was like, what cartoon did you guys jump out of?
We're like Mark Wahlberg on like Entourage with I'm like, you guys gotta go.
Yeah, the Wahlberg brothers.
Yeah, you gotta get.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mind him being there, honestly. It was just like, where
are we? What is happening?
Megan was there, which was delightful because I haven't seen her in forever.
Megan, my brother, we had so many friends and family. It was so fun. Lynn, of course, with her lanyard.
Yes.
Taking photos of us, which they're really beautiful pictures. We can't wait to post them. So we go on to do this show, which just feels like a full circle moment for both of us because Jen and I both went to school in Lincoln, but didn't meet in Lincoln. And so the Lead Center is kind of like the biggest shit in Lincoln. It's very fancy. And
can we say one funny thing about the Lead? Okay, which is they were like, only had one bar open.
Yep.
With 2 bartenders. And for our
2 bartenders.
Yeah. So for our crowd, you need to have
8.
A lot of bars open. Yeah. And they go, we don't hold. So
yes,
which means
they were they were like, we don't hold.
We start on the button. 7:30 p.m. We'll be starting.
Will you tell people why we hold, what the point of a hold is?
Because if the women aren't to their seats yet, we don't want to start the show without them.
Correct.
So that's the only reason we do it. So if you get there early, and there's a lot of you that do, we definitely appreciate it. But sometimes they have an understaffed bar, and
there's
the
long,
women are
long,
waiting.
long lines
We
to
have
the bar.
photos. We have video of these long lines, and I get it. I would do the same thing.
What
I'd
do
be
you
like,
mean?
I would wait in
Oh,
line
me
because I would
too.
want to have a drink,
Me
during the
too.
show. So like, they said we don't hold, and
We
Kristin
don't
and I were like,
do holds.
well, you might
You're
at
gonna
our
maybe
show.
have to.
Yeah.
They were
so
like, we're going to hold.
we're
And I
gonna
was like,
hold.
I
Yeah.
figured.
There's a long bar line.
There's
and we're
a
like,
long bar
well, there's
line.
no other reason to hold. But
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to, I don't know if it's just consistently that women are underestimated, but you get a group of 3,000 women together and it's a good effing time.
it's amazing. Yeah.
And there is this, I've always talked about it. There's this like energy. And I always say, I wish I could take a photo of women just enjoying themselves and being with their girlfriends and having a good time. Because
Yeah.
I guarantee it would be the most beautiful, sexy photo because they're all just laughing and like bright and there's sparkle in their eyes and everybody looks good and smells good. I just think it's such a wonderful night that we get to be a part of. And especially a hometown show because everybody's so proud of us and they're all
Yeah.
from different parts of the state and that feels really
They
good.
have like ownership of us, which is really sweet. They're like, you're
Feels
ours.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
in
in the nicest
kindest way. Yeah.
And the meet and greet, like everybody just wants to give a hug and they never want to like, the thing I love about Nebraska people, there's a humility. So there's like, oh, we don't want to take too much of your time. And I'm
yes.
like, girl, you're in the meet and greet line. Those tickets are not cheap. We
They're-
are happy to spend some time with you.
It's like, and Kristin and I are like this too. So I know it's like representative of like where we're from and like how we were raised. But it's like, they're almost like, oh, you have a long line. Do you need help? Do you need to? They'd come up and they'd be like, do you need water? You need a drink?
Yep.
Like they're just so sweet. And people who couldn't come to the show are literally still messaging us going, I had my brother's wedding. I couldn't make it.
I'm so sorry.
The only one I've missed. And
it's so delightful.
It's wonderful.
Feels like I think it's the whole reason we do this and we keep going is we feel such I don't know, just pride and excitement about first of all playing to women, but second of all going home feels totally awesome.
And maybe it's too because we do get lovely messages from all over the place, including Qatar. I will say that again. But we get these lovely messages, and I think because we know Midwest so well, we know what a big deal it is for them to like show
Pay
up,
for a ticket,
come out.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, to like giving a compliment, I always feel like people don't always like to because it makes you vulnerable.
Yes.
And like it's Midwestern people are kind of shy and quiet and stuff like that. And I mean, there's
yes,
you know what I'm saying? It's
there's
like
such a kindness. Well, this is what I was going to get to. So I after we did our Lincoln show, I had at that point we'd been gone for 4 days from our families, and we have this rule that we don't stay out longer than 4 days to do shows, just because you start to ache and you start to feel so homesick.
Your kids start saying really insulting things on the phone.
Yep. Or they don't answer their phone, and that they're on their iPad and they're choosing to ignore you because they're in the middle of a game of Brawl Stars.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I was like, I want to stay with my parents for a couple days, but I'm going to, obviously I'm going to stay because I want to be with them. But there is a pull to like go home.
Yeah.
So we stayed. Jen and Michelle, our new tour manager, left the next day at 5. So of course my mom and dad were like, you guys need to come over for supper.
Came over, yeah.
Which
came over
is
for
lunch.
Yep, it
which
was
confuses the shit out of me.
Delightful.
He
it was
made
wonderful. It was such good food. Oh my gosh.
Baked potatoes. My sister made this really insane triple layer whatever dessert we
like
just ate.
A lemon brushed creme fraiche.
I don't know.
With like these homemade biscuits.
I licked the plate. But it was so fun to have Jen and Michelle there and our families together and just like this big fun, what I know the Midwest to be, which is like, let me feed you, let me love you,
it's our love language.
Make everything very easy. There's no like needing to show off. It's just like, we're going to eat, we're going to be in a cozy house, we're going to be together. You got to go, no worries. Like, that's it. Let me just hug you and you can go.
It's so funny how you slip out of your habits and then back into them, because I always travel wearing a hat because I don't want to do my hair and I can like pull it down and sleep. And so I sat down at the table next to Matthew, and he takes his hat and puts it underneath his chair, and I was like, oh shit balls.
Yep.
My hat on, like put it on the chair behind me, because I don't do that here.
Yeah.
I don't in LA. I don't. I'm like, I'm gonna forget it. I'm gonna wear my hat through dinner.
Yep.
I'm just going to. So it was fun to be like, it felt like I was at my grandparents' house.
I know. And then you do grace, and I love that. Just being together in the way that I was raised feels like so good. Plus my kids
They also
weren't-
do a grace cheer of sorts. It was, I didn't know that one.
Well, you do the Catholic, blessed is the Lord for these, I give you vouchers, your brother in Christ, our Lord, amen. And then
that fast.
Then you knock out the thank you, God, for giving us food. Thank you, God, for giving us food. Thank you, God, for giving us food. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, amen.
And Terry's like, she does like full whistle, like the
oh my
so
God.
loud to get everybody at the table. And then she does a thank you, God, for bringing us food. Thank you, God, for bringing us. It's delightful.
Yeah, she whistles us in. I was like, and things have not changed.
Yeah.
So we sit
it's
down,
amazing.
we eat, but then Jen and Michelle go to the airport, and all of a sudden it's just me and my parents. And it was so nice because when you have your kids there, your parents obviously are always thinking, well, I've been doing this longer. I know more. They kind of get a little bit bossy with kids. I think grandparents in general, sort of, the kids can make it more challenging for you as the mom to relax. So without my kids there, I'm just their daughter.
Totally.
And it was awesome. I was very homesick for my kids, but at the same time, my dad had that medical scare.
You get to spend time with them in a way that you don't, because
anymore.
You're kind of on double duty
Always.
when it comes to your kids being like at family's house, because you are scared they're going to break something. You're scared that they're going to like
say
touch
something.
stuff they're not supposed to, or so you're kind of like doing regular momming plus like running interference on all
right.
this
And then
stuff
you've got your parents
making sure they say please and thank you so you don't get judged as a mother.
Correct. And I don't want to have any sidebars of like, can I offer a suggestion? I'm like, I'm not. No, yep. What am I supposed to do, Mom?
Well,
that
and
I'm not doing.
Can I offer another compliment to Terry and Dewey, where they're so grandparents. Like, I used to love going to my grandparents' house because they'd be like, here's a box of screws, have fun.
Yeah.
Like, there was no but I'm not saying that
No,
Dewey
that's
and Terry
how they
don't involve,
roll.
but they would just like give you an interesting thing that you maybe didn't get at home and keep you entertained, right? But there are some grandparents that you're like, you know what? My 6-year-old doesn't want to look at boats and bottles, or how they're certainly they don't want to put together a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Nope.
They're just going to eat those pieces.
Yeah.
Like, and
Also,
they're
that's
like
boring.
They are grandparents.
Yes.
Yours are they're really good at
everything they have in their
grandparenting.
house like moves. There's like cuckoo clocks
Yep,
and
it's
like
exciting.
lights and like my ADD is like what do we? And
Yeah.
also there are noises that we don't know what's happening in their house. Like it always sounds like something's gonna detonate. Like
that
there's
the
always like a
dishwasher, or-
beep, 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 and I'm like,
Yep.
Mom, do you hear it?
Let
And
the
she's
wine
like, you know
fridge
what?
open.
Your brother and sister both say there's a beeping, and I just don't hear it. I'm like, God, Jesus, like this. Literally, I feel like there's a bomb gonna
Yeah.
go off. But
Would you guys get to do that you wouldn't normally get to do?
sit around. It was great. Like we
just
catch up. And also it's always so fun when there isn't a need to fill everybody in about everything in your life. You can just be. So like my parents, and this is where I get it, they're big TV watchers. Like,
Yes.
but there's a ritual
Yeah.
to it. It's not all day. They wait till like, 6:30 at night. They start watching their show.
Yeah.
They have a TV journal where they write down the shows they're watching and what they
Love
think about it.
I need one of those because
Yep.
I start stuff and forget about
That's
it.
and
by
my
the time
mom's
get
like,
go
I
back
like to
it.
make notes so I can remember where the characters are in the story.
Mhm.
And then my dad weighs in. They both talk to the television like it's a friend, which I enjoy.
Mhm.
We watched a movie together. But the thing that I really love is like, this tells you what Midwest people are like. My dad is so proud of us, right? He's so proud of what we've done and what we've accomplished. And the person that he wanted to introduce me to the most is his favorite bartender at his favorite pub. So we
I
go
met
in-
her.
So we go into the Grapevine, which is my dad's favorite like pub, and we have a drink, and he's so excited to have me meet his favorite bartender. There's no pretension. Like,
Yeah.
not to say that a bartender isn't worthy. I'm just saying, like, it's not like, let's go to a party where there's congressmen and
This is my boss at work.
To him in his life, this is the person that matters. It's his
yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
And so we go there, and then we went to my sister's restaurant that she's working at, and then we went to I got to go to my brother's barber shop, and it was just easy. And the thing I love about Nebraska that I feel like we just don't have here is I am so calm there. Like you can just sit outside and just sit, and like there's noise from the crickets or the wilderness, and also from the green grass smells a certain way, the thunder sounds a certain way. It feels so like home that I never have to look for a parking spot ever.
Yeah.
I can literally my mom's like, well, that's a kind of a drive ahead of us. And I'm like, how far away is it? And she's, well, it's at least 12 minutes. I'm like, I can't get out of my driveway in 12 minutes. Like, it's so easy just to do things. And also, I have to say, it's the kindness of people.
Yeah.
When we were driving from Lawrence, Kansas to Nebraska, we stopped in a little town called Humboldt, Jen and Michelle and I. We stop in a little town and we have to go to the bathroom. So my parents were the kind of people like, you don't just go to the bathroom and not buy anything. You patronize the place, and that was a rule. So I was like, I'm going to go in and buy some nibs or something.
Yeah.
And we go in, and there's it's like this little country town. There's all these kids running around. Everybody knows everybody in the place. And we go, can we use your bathroom? Gentleman shows us where the bathroom is. We come out, and he was like, I know it's not much to look at, but was it clean? And Jen and I were like, it was sparkling clean. Thank you so much. And he was like, I know it's important to have a clean bathroom. And he was so nice. The kindness just like doesn't stop.
And I got lost on the way to the bathroom, and some guy just filling his truck
was like, he was
like, I can tell you're lost. You're just right there. But I mean, it's so where we're from, where how many times have we been in a place and I'm like, I almost cleaned that bathroom. Like,
I know.
I literally am like, if I would have not been dressed up or something, I would have cleaned that toilet, because why wouldn't you?
It's just this thing where people, and Nebraska isn't like a city or a state. It's a state. It's not a state that people are talking a lot about, but I think there's this magic to particularly where we're from that is like, how can I go out of my way to be kind? Like, how can I go out of my way to make sure that you have what you need? And it goes from somebody that's working at a gas station all the way up into people that are fancy businessmen. And I know this because I went to lunch, and the hostess working at the host stand, she was drawing, and I was interested. I was like, oh, I wonder if she's a student at the university. And she goes, there's a 6-year-old's birthday party today. And I thought, I bet she likes turtles. So I'm just going to draw this thing for her birthday party. And I'm like, just because you're being so kind, because you're so nice.
Just going to draw a turtle.
Just going to draw a turtle. That stuff does not go unnoticed by me, because I do feel like it's so kind. It's where we're from. It's like how people always used to say to us, oh, you're not from here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? Because I use manners, and I'm okay with making your experience a little bit nicer in your day. Okay.
Now, I know that there is that because we're here. And there's a lot of people who are here that I always say, like, LA is a place that is full of black sheep. Like, for whatever reason, people didn't really fit in where they
misfit toys.
Yeah. And like they come together and they in LA and feel a little bit of like home. And it's very rare that there's somebody who's if you run into somebody and they're an asshole, they're either a native or they're from New York City.
Right.
And I'm sorry, it's just the truth. I say that, and I'm married to a guy from New York City, but they're just, and New Yorkers are different, nice, where they are like not polite to you, but they will give you a kidney.
But if you're from New York and you're around other New Yorkers, you're like, God, yes, please be like abrupt with me.
You got to change what you're doing.
Yes.
But there's so many people, and we're all from the same place in LA. We're from someplace else.
Yes.
Which it isn't here. But it's nice to just be around people who you
understand. Yeah. The menus all have like ridiculous portion sizes, which I love. And I don't know, it just feels like
I had this weird thing happen, and people like still are like, I can't believe that. Plus, because I only had this conversation because I am from where I'm from, where when I worked for this pharmaceutical company years ago, they would, at the big big dinners mix everybody up. So you would be there with
fun.
a VP,
VP
an
and
investor, like anybody, like a manager
nice.
from another part of the country, and then you'd be with other reps. So you would like mingle and have interesting conversation. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, the main guy is at our table," and they were all like freaking out,
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh gosh, I guess I better like panic and freak out,
Yeah.
like ease up on the booze, right? Because
Right.
they really
Never.
ply you full of good steak and booze and those kinds of things."
Because
But
they're good
So-
people.
the guy sits down, and of course he's sitting next to me, and he's friendly to everybody, talks to everybody, and I was like, well, I don't see what's so intimidating about this guy. And then as like the night goes on, I go, there's something so familiar about you to me. And I was like asking his name, like where he's from
You're
and stuff
"Did we
like
make
that.
out when I was at
I mean, I'm thinking maybe there was just something so familiar about him. And he goes, "Oh, I grew up in a little place. You've never heard of it." And I was like, "Well, try me. I'm from
Yeah.
Nebraska." And he goes, "Where in Nebraska?" And I go, "I grew up in Bellevue." He goes, "You did not."
Did he?
He did, so much so that we got to talking, and I remember his state wrestling picture being in the line next to in the middle school, being next to the line where you
Get out
got
of town.
lunch.
I bet his brain was shook.
Everybody at the table was like, "What?" And I was just like, just the way he talked, the
It's
things
Nebraska.
he talked about, the casual way. It
Yep.
was crazy. Like I
It's my-
chills, but it was just such a weird
It's
thing.
my favorite thing though, because between the two of us, like especially because I have a ginormous family, we always play the game City County Cousin,
No, everybody,
where
yeah.
we're like within 3 moves, most likely, if you're from Nebraska and we meet you, between the two of us, we know someone in your family.
It's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, like there, so many people are like, "You've never heard of it. It's a small town." I'm like, "Try me." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Chapman." I'm like, "That's 20 miles from where I grew up. Give me your family name."
Yeah.
Like, it's the thing that I love the most is it feels like on some level, just saying you're from Nebraska, you're automatically part of a family that cares for you. And I'm so incredibly proud to be from there. And I think we are trying to always like live up to how we were raised there.
Yeah.
Which
it
is
gets,
take care of people and be kind. Have a joke. Don't be too buttoned up. Like my dad is the biggest cusser you've ever met, and that's fun. Which I think I'm gonna make my dad our hot flash.
Hot flash. Hot flash.
Which is probably weird, but God,
Yeah.
Dewey in this photo, I'm gonna post it on our Instagram podcast.
The ladies
Jesus.
find him and they get.
Well, he's not exactly hard to find. He's always like wearing a shirt that says,
We're gonna get
I'm-
one made for him that says,
yeah.
"Yes, I'm Dewey."
"Yes, I'm Dewey," and he's like, "These ladies want to always take pictures
and,
with me."
And we even will give him a hard. This last time we were giving him a hard time about, "Hey, Dewey, don't wanna."
Yeah,
He's available for photos. He was like, "Well, I don't know what it is, but they all come up and they want me to put my arms around him and get a picture taken with them." I tell you, he's delightful, you guys. I
love
agree
him.
with that hot flash.
yeah. They both just. It was so nice to be home. And a big shout out to Nebraska because we love you and we're super proud to be from there.
Yeah, I think we podcasted.
I think we podcasted, you guys. Go Big Red.